Good evening. It is September 15th, and welcome back to Cape Media News, your source for hyperlocal news that matters. I'm Lauren Williamson. Hurricane Lee is the third hurricane of the season and has been rapidly gaining strength. While its exact path and intensity are uncertain, it has the potential to affect New England. Preparing for a possible hurricane on Cape Cod is crucial to ensure your safety and the safety of your property. Lee has been fluctuating between a Category 5 and a Category 4. Regardless of the exact path of the hurricane, the ocean and around Cape Cod will experience very rough conditions. High surf and a high risk of rip currents are expected. Cape Media News met with Barnstable County Emergency Preparedness Specialist Chip Riley for some tips on how you can stay safe during a weather emergency.
The first thing we like to warn people about is we don't know what's happening yet. So we don't want people to listen to one weather report and say, oh, it's going out to sea. We're asking folks to pay attention to the weather for the next couple of days. We really don't know yet what the impact is going to be here on the Cape. We talk in emergency preparedness about building a kit, making a plan, and being informed. You know, we want to think about starting to collect some items that you might need to get by for a couple of days if you were to, say, lose power. Now, with this storm, we're expecting tropical storm force winds, maybe hurricane force winds. We're expecting some power outages, some trees down, over Friday night into Saturday morning and through the day on Saturday. So you may have to stay home for a while. So you want to have the comfort items that you need at home. If you're living in low-lying areas, you want to know your zone. And if you're typically susceptible to coastal flooding or coastal erosion, you want to be conscious of that. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. You know, if you have that, if your kids and grandkids are living off Cape, like, great weekend to go visit them. You know, talk to your other friends in maybe you have a friend who lives on the other side of town and it's a better spot to go to. Don't be afraid to ask for help. For our seniors, what I really love to convey is you're not a burden. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask friends if you can stay over for the weekend. And conversely, if you know people in that role, invite them. Say, because although we are prepared to open shelters if we need them, they're really not comfortable, and we would much rather have folks find alternative locations. If you're going on a 3-day trip, pack what you would normally bring. Medication is always a big one. If you're leaving your house because you're worried about an impact in the event, bring your medication with you. We also recommend bringing important financial documents. They're always good to have with you, so that if something were to happen, that you know your insurance policy number and the correct people to call. So you want to bring those relevant things. And if you have a pet, bring your pets with you, and bring a little kit for them too. There's some great resources online through ready.gov and the American Red Cross. They have great checklists which make it easy. It's easy to give you a soup to nuts list, but again, individuals know what they really need: food, water, medication, and basic comfort items are on the short list. Keep watching the local weather news. Keep getting updates from trusted media sources. We want to make sure people are not listening to rumors or listening to trusted weather sources. Through your local community's website is a great one. Barnstable County's website is another great one. We push information on social media, so just make sure you know your source and you're not getting hyped up. And then after impact, if we do have an impact here on the Cape, especially with our seniors, there's a lot of scammers out there. We want to make sure you're talking to reputable organizations. People will not be calling you and asking for money or asking for payment. So it's the easiest way to avoid that is you feel free to back out of people who call you and call back directly to a trusted number you know. But be careful of scammers, because they do tend to come out after events like this, and we want people to be safe and secure. If you have a power line or a wire that comes down, always assume it's a power line, always assume it's hot, and stay away from it. We know we're going to have some wave action, some beach action. You don't need to go watch the big waves at the beach. We do that in August. We don't need to do that now. Stay home, stay safe if you don't need to be out during this event. We want to make our public safety officials available for folks who are having significant needs and not having to chase down folks who are out sightseeing at the beaches, because we're really worried about rip currents, things like that.
Up to 500 rubber ducks will sail down Ware Creek at West Dennis Yacht Club this Sunday as part of the Dennis Conservation Land Trust's annual Rubber Duck Regatta. While the event is free to attend, participants can purchase entry into the race for a chance to win cash prizes ranging from $100 to $500. Entries are $10 per duck or $25 for 3 and are available to purchase in advance online at dennisconservationlandtrust.org. Proceeds from this event will go towards Dennis wildlife conservation and preservation efforts. Before the race kicks off, be sure to cast your vote for the best decorated duck in the Decked Out Duck contest and enjoy family-friendly activities made available by local businesses and volunteers. The event runs Sunday, September 17th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. with a rain date of September 24th. The First Church of Christ Scientist in Hyannis is set to become the new site of a new apartment complex. The 94 Stevens Street property will be home to a 4-story building with 40 apartments total, including 4 affordable units. While development plans are not yet set in stone, the church has been sold to a developer with demolition slated for July 2024. This project comes on the heels of Barnstable's recently revised zoning plans in conjunction with the Housing Production Plan and the Growth Incentive Plan. The goal of these revisions is to prioritize residential and mixed-use development that supports and enhances downtown Hyannis' aesthetic appeal, walkability, and access to community resources. It has not yet been determined where or when the First Church of Christ Scientist will relocate. The Barnstable Conservation Commission is nearing a decision on whether to grant Avangrid renewables permits for its Park City Wind project, specifically the landing of power cables at Craigville Beach and the route under the Centerville River to a proposed inland substation. The decision on the permits could be as early as September 19th. A recent hearing on September 5th, held over Zoom, was closed after a 2-hour discussion, ending public comments. Barnstable Commission Chairman Tom Lee expressed caution against rushing the decision and potentially missing important conditions. By closing the hearing, the board started a 21-day statutory clock to issue a determination, but got assurances that Avangrid would agree to an extension should the commissioners need extra time to draft and legally review their conditions. During the hearing, residents voiced concern about the potential environmental impacts of microtunneling, electromagnetic fields, or EMFs, produced by the power lines, financial viability, and contamination risks at substations. Representatives from Avangrid and their consultants addressed some of their concerns, emphasizing efforts to minimize environmental impacts and stating that burying the lines deep underground would reduce the effects of EMFs. Avangrid stated that they have a power purchase contract with Connecticut, where the power will be sent, and the project has extensive insurance policies to cover financial issues. Some commissioners noted that they acknowledge residents' concerns. The board has limitations regarding the authority to address certain issues. The decision on whether to grant permits for the Park City Wind project will have significant implications for local community and the offshore wind energy industry in the region. On September 6th, the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission voted in favor of the continuation of the Hyannis Community Art Wall. Located on the eastern exterior wall of the Hyannis Public Library and consisting of 4 large plywood panels, the wall is open to the public to decorate and contribute freely. The project began in 2021 when Sturgis High School student Will Callow teamed up with the local art organization, The Cordial Eye, to create Cape Cod's first legal street art wall. According to The Cordial Eye, the aim of this project is to provide a space to amplify the voices of artists that are not typically included in the public art sphere on Cape Cod. This proposal was brought to Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission in April, where it was met with strong opposition. Commissioners expressed concerns that the wall does not fit the values of Hyannis' historic district and that the project is highly susceptible to defacement and even vandalism. However, community members and neighboring businesses, including the JFK Museum, were highly in favor, and spoke out about the value of this project.
We have a vibrant community in Hyannis that loves its history, that loves its new residents, that loves the artwork that comes through here, and it loves the library. And we are a little teeny-weeny city here, and I don't think we will never lose the historic feeling of Hyannis. It's too deep. And to be able to be free enough to open the arms of the community to something different is going to make us stronger.
First of all, I'd like to reassure you that there are security cameras all around the Hyannis Public Library, which are monitored. So we have an opportunity to see if anything unusual or untoward is going on. There's security lighting there all night, and we have the ability to review the tapes daily if we need to. We also have a custodian who's there before the place opens, and if there's anything inappropriate on the walls, we can take some steps if we have to cover them before the public shows up.
I mean, this is a chance to make history in the historical district. We already have, like I said, Cape Media News covered this, made a video about it. Yeah, it could just keep going. There could continue to be cool pictures of the art wall in these states of flux, as it constantly is. And as somebody who has contributed to it and visits it every time I'm on Main Street, I think it should stick around, and I'm a proponent of it.
After some deliberation, ground rules were established to keep the art wall in place until its annual review next June. If you'd like to contribute to the wall, please sign in at the front desk at Hyannis Library or visit hyannislibrary.org if contributing after hours.